Hi guys, so as you saw in the last tutorial, we learned how to use the shape tool. So today what we're going to do is we're going to use the shape tool and a little bit of the brush tool that we learned earlier to create our own version of Roy Lichtenstein's Six Figures painting, which is actually right in front of me on my screen right now. So if you'll notice, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 figures, and they're all made out of different geometric features. And so we're going to today use the shape tool in combination with the brush tool to learn how to make our own figures. So, what's really cool about this is similar to the previous project, you actually get a lot of freedom in making your own different people however you want. I'm just going to show you a couple different examples so you can get a feel for it and a little bit of practice too and some tips and tricks on how you can really make these paintings pop. So, just to start, I would probably just start with the rectangle tool just for me. I'm gonna make, how about we start with like a rectangular sort of head? Yeah, I like that. And for now, I'm not gonna worry about the color or anything. I'm just gonna work on getting some shapes on the page for me to play with and figure out how am I gonna make this figure. Maybe I'll use the polygon tool for the body. And how about we make it a six-sided? Maybe we'll just do 8 and go for an octagon. Now I have an octagon. Let's make a new layer. I'm gonna go into the custom shape tool. Maybe I won't use the kangaroo, but I like the sort of half moon shape I've made. Maybe we'll use that. And then let's just get in a couple other shapes in there just so we can use them. How about an ellipse? I like kind of like a longer ovular obelisk. And so now that we have a couple shapes on the page, I think it's time to start playing with them and placing them in different places to see what kind of figure we can come up with. So I'm gonna use the move tool. I think I kind of like this octagon as the head. And maybe we're gonna get rid of this rectangle. And I like this oval for the body. But I think I want it to be these a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna Control T, make sure I'm on the ellipse layer, and I'm just gonna make it a little bit bigger. I'm also gonna move this ellipse layer to beneath the polygon layer so that this head looks like it's on top. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, ooh, this kind of looks like a mermaid. Now it looks a little bit like a rocket ship, but I kind of like that as for arms. So I'm gonna give this figure this crescent moon kind of arms. I'm also gonna place that behind the ellipse so it looks more like arms coming out of the body. And then maybe for the feet, what I'll do, or the legs, is I'll kind of have it on this box. I kind of like that sort of silhouette that we have right now. So now what I'm going to do is, just so each of these different shapes stand out a little bit more, I'm going to work on changing the color. So let's start with the head. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go click on the shape tool icon, and I'm going to click on the fill. And I think I want something maybe a little dark on the head. Let's go with maybe, I like this dark blue color. And then I think the head should have a stroke, maybe like a bright yellow stroke. And I'm gonna make the stroke just a teensy weensy bigger, like a 7. So I kind of like how that looks. I think that's a cool head. Now let's go to the body. For the body, I'm just gonna make the choice. Let's see. Let's maybe do something also a little bit darker here too. How about a nice green? I like how that kind of goes with the yellow and the blue. And then I'm gonna leave that without a stroke for now, but I might come back to that. Now let's go to the crescent and make the arms. I think I want something a little lighter on the arms. I don't know how much I like that pink. Maybe we'll go for purple. Keep it in the cool family. I think I like that better, but I think this one needs a little bit of a stroke. So why don't we go with this peachy color? I think that's a little clashy, so I'm gonna go for this light green. And I kind of like this one at a 3 pixel stroke. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the bottom, or the legs as we like to call them. And I'm gonna go for maybe a pastel color this time. I like this sort of bright blue color. And I think that looks good. Although I'm not really feeling this box anymore as the legs, so I'm gonna get rid of that. I kind of just am gonna keep this as the body, as the whole. And to make the whole thing bigger, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select everything here. I'm going to move it. Oh, my bad. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna select the layers, and I'm gonna hit Control T on my keyboard, and holding Shift so I don't mess up the proportions, I'm gonna change the size of this figure. And now we kind of have a figure sort of starting to form here, but I think it could use a little bit more detail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new layer above all these shapes, and I'm gonna draw some details on the face. Remember how we talked about hard versus soft brushes? This is a great opportunity to use a hard brush because while we're not outlining, we are making slightly, we want our facial features, and we just want everything to have slightly sharper lines. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for a black color, and I'm gonna maybe go for 2 eyes. And like, I kind of liked in the actual painting how there was like a little line going between the 2 eyes, so I'm gonna do that as well. And then maybe I'm going to draw on a little V for the nose, and maybe another straight line, whoops, a straight line for the mouth. I kind of like that, but I think it could use a little bit more detail. So I'm gonna use the eyedropper tool just so I can get this exact yellow color. And I'm just gonna do maybe some sort of like dots on top. And just being really creative here and just having a little bit of fun and making things up as I go a little bit. And maybe using the eyedropper tool again. You can hit I to do that. I'm gonna take this purple color and maybe do some kind of cheek details. That's a little small. Some sort of cheek details. And then on the clothes, maybe what I'll do are some blue buttons. So I'll take the eyedropper tool, and I'm gonna add in some buttons on a shirt, and maybe I'm gonna add in some little hands. I'm gonna go back to that yellow. And like I said, there's kind of no wrong movements you can make here. So I just think that the more creative you are, the more fun you have with it. Oh, I'm gonna go back to this light green color and maybe put some details on the head, like maybe some little ears or something. I don't really like that. But maybe what I'll do is I'll go back to the shapes and maybe add some sort of a hat. So I'll do like a thin rectangle, and maybe we can make this black. And then I'll make a new layer, go to custom shapes, and maybe pick this other sort of half moon shape that I have. And sort of create like a little funky hat, which I can adjust. And now maybe I'll add some more details on a new layer. I don't quite like that. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the ellipse tool to make a circle. And I'm going to use this green color. And I'm gonna put that on top. And I kind of like this funky figure. I think it's a little fun looking guy. Maybe I'll add a stroke around that actually. Stroke. How about that yellow? I kind of like that yellow theme we have. Actually, let's go with the black. I think the yellow's a little too bright on the white. Here we go. All right, I really like that. I think that's kind of a cute first fun figure, but notice each of these are just geometric shapes with a little bit of detail. I like to go in with the brush tool, maybe back with the black and just do a little bit more detail. But what's really fun is that you can pretty much do whatever you want with this project. There's so much freedom. You just really want to have some fun, maybe add some hair. Who knows? You can do whatever you want. You just have to be creative, use the shapes, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.